Hey, it's Empress Rose here, and welcome to our collective reading. So I'm just going to start off with some oracle cards. Oh, and while I was getting started, I was looking at my scrying ball, and it was actually a little bit silent. The only thing that kept sort of or quiet or blank, not blank, there's always stuff in there, but nothing jumped out at me. But there was a dinosaur print, like a you know, like a prehistoric artifact, but it was in the rock, and it's just that print where the dinosaurs stepped millions of years ago. And so it had me thinking about sort of physical memory and sort of body keeps the score kind of stuff. Hopefully it does that for positive things as well as negative things. Again, with the prehistoric, because I feel like some sort of prehistoric emotions came out. So prehistoric, when we're talking about our own personal lives, would be things that we experienced before our memory was really working and keeping track of things. I don't want to say it's about like something you don't remember, because that's just kind of creepy to know that there's like whole, things we don't remember about our lives, but it might be some sort of relic of some previous era of your life, some sort of imprint that made. Imprint seems really important. That seems like a key word, some kind of imprint. And I think like throughout our whole childhood and teen years and all those formative years, there's a lot of imprints happening. That's why they're called formative years, because this stuff forms these sort of paw print or whatever, not paw, like, I don't know, the footprints, like these are formative events. So it could be some sort of memory of a formative event. And I think that they go on for a long time, actually. They probably go on for our whole lives. But there are eras in our life that are more formative than others as far as like what imprints itself on us as our history and our reality. Yeah, we had the caveman paintings last time, so we're really talking about some ancient history. This is even before the caveman paintings. This is before all that. So, okay, one card from the Moonology and Work Your Light mix, but it was just one card. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Well, going towards something. You can't really control the outcomes, but you can move towards and prepare for the things that you love. This can also be quite literal, in my opinion, as far as like answering a phone call. There was a phone call. Did we get that last week too? Some kind of phone call or some sort of message. But this is something that really calls to you. This reminds me of the Lover's card, honestly, as far as like meeting with something that calls to you, that draws you, and waiting for that draw to pull you forward rather than pushing yourself forward, allowing something to pull you forward, some sort of desire, genuine desire, not a desire for an outcome, but a desire for an activity. The activity, that seems important to me right now. The activity itself drawing you forward, not necessarily like the outcome of the activity or your hoped for outcome, but something calling you forward. And it's not necessarily a big grand plan, but it might be just an activity that you're just like, wow, I really want to do that. I really want to go there. I really want to. And making space for something like that. What is your soul calling you to do? So it'll feel like a desire. And it's not like a flippant desire or an indulgent desire. It's like, I would say, well, it's a desire. There's some sort of desire and you're meant to move forward towards it. But don't force it, right? You're not, like if you go shopping and you don't find anything you like, don't buy anything just because you felt like buying something. Like, you gotta like it. You gotta like what you want. Look, you gotta like what you see. Okay, wow, this one again. What the winter spirits know: rest, recovery. Wow, there's a rest time. Snow, The downtime, the dark time, the nap time. Again, we have the nap time. Oh, but when you feel the magic sing, this is like the same card of answer the call, right? This is just what I was talking about. When you feel the magic sing, when you feel it, when you feel moved to do something, do it. What is that song? Like when the spirit says dance, dance. When the spirit moves you, when your soul moves you, go towards it. Don't try to stuff it down. Don't be like, no, I have to wait till this is done. But move with the spirit. I think some of my favorite like chore days, I call them dawdling days or puttering days. I get so much done because I only do it when I might be working all day, but instead of going off a checklist, I'm like, yeah, you know what seems like fun? Going through that desktop. You know what seems like fun? I don't know, clearing off this thing and that thing. And I get so much done those days because I'm going with the spirit as it moves. So this might not be a huge thing, but it does kind of seem like you're waking up, like there's a wake-up call. There's a alarm clock that goes off or something like that. That's kind of like, oh, now we go. Oh, now, I wasn't wanting to do this. I was frustrated with myself because I didn't want to do that. But now the spirit moves. Now I'm waking up from the nap. Now I'm listening to what my soul wants me to do and I'm moving towards it. And it seems very easy, very natural. When you feel inspired, flow with the inspiration. Don't fight it. But there is sort of this waking up after a nap, I feel like, with answer the call, and when you feel the magic sing, move, answer it. When your soul wants to move, wants to wake up, wake up. If your soul wakes you up at 5 a.m., wake up at 5 a.m. then. I mean, is it perfect? No. Are you probably going to need a nap later? Maybe so, but do it. All right, and then we're using the tarot here as Santa Muerte Tarot, Book of the Dead. So it's actually, this channel would not exist if it weren't for this deck, which I haven't used for a while. But since we're coming up on Dia de los Muertos, I thought it was time to pull it out again. But I had purchased this right before COVID and was like, well, how am I going to play with this deck? So here we are. All right, so from the bottom of the deck, whoa, 8 of Swords, self-doubt. Here's the card. As feeling like you can't do something. That's really interesting. Like you can't wake up, like you can't. Feeling like when the spirit says move, there's some sort of resistance, but the resistance is inner. So you're dealing with like an internal resistance to something. Like the spirit saying move, but there's some part of you that's doesn't think that you can, or doesn't think that you should, or doesn't think that you're ready. 8 of Swords is going to be like internal communication, repeated sort of harmful self-harm through thoughts, through repeated thoughts, through mantras, crappy mantras, repeated. An inner storm, an inner darkness, having to deal with that anxiety. Oh, fun. Wow. Okay. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Yeah, I'll say. Okay. In the recent past, we have 9 of Cups. You've been happy. You've been really happy with something, with where something's been. You've been successful. You're proud. There might be a sense of pride of like how happy you are, or how much emotional and psychological growth you've accomplished, you've achieved, right? Happiness, it's not something we want to be like pursuing, but happy people, hold on, my glasses are driving me nuts. You can like never touch your glasses and yet somehow they end up like feeling like that's all that's ever happened to them, is they've just been touched with greasy hands for their entire life. So despite that not actually being the case. So 9 of Cups though, you were happy sometime in the past. There was a lot of fulfillment. 9 of Cups can be solo happiness. You went out, you found something that made you happy. You're very proud of sort of your psychological health and well-being. Very happy, went on a mission perhaps to acquire something, and you have, the results are wonderful. You're proud of them. You can't wait to sort of show them off, to bring home the bacon, the happy bacon, to bring home the happiness. Yeah, there's just like a triumphant return. You went to go find, be happy, be excited. You went to find your happiness, and you did. So happiness is obviously an inside job, but it's still work, and it's still effort, and it's still not like effort, but like you have to be aware of what your thoughts are doing, and be accepting of all of them, and accepting yourself and all of that. It's not that you're happy, it's that you're okay with who you are, and you're happy with who you are. And it's not necessarily that, but so the 9 of Cups, being happy. You were happy, so we know that you're capable of that. And then we have 9 of Swords. This is 9 of Swords. This is the nightmare card. Look, you're sort of in this vice, all these thoughts coming at you. Again, we have this like marker here of something in the past. There's a marker. There's something that happened, and you've bookmarked the page. You've bookmarked something, and that's what's reminding me of that impression, that foot impression. You've bookmarked something. You're worried. I mean, this is another card of anxiety. I mean, like, who knew? I guess I just didn't realize how many anxiety cards there are in the tarot, but there's 8 of Swords and 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords is like self-imposed mantras, not thinking you can do something. Here we are, 9 of Swords. There's anxiety. Like, we couldn't go from more different situations. We have the 9 of Cups. We're happy. Things are wonderful. And then now here comes the exact opposite, the shadow of that. The 9 of Swords. We have a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. The 8 of Swords is sort of a mental prison being held somewhere through repeated thoughts. And 9 of Swords is sort of the thoughts about anxiety and fears. Yeah, your mind is meant to be like this holy place, right? Where we were already touching on this in 9 of Cups, where you're the curator, you're the priest of your own mind. And when your own mind sort of starts to feel anxious and fearful, but you're the priest, you're like in charge of this space, you own this space. And it's really easy to have these like externals coming in there and becoming internals. And like, it's like you internalized something. It's like you internalized something so much. There's just a sense of not being able to move forward from a place of fear and anxiety. And these are thoughts. So the thoughts are having a very real effect on your emotions, which are having a very real effect on your physiology, on your body, on the health of your body. There's something so strongly here about negative thoughts, about difficult thoughts. So this is our shadow self here. And then right underneath this 9 of Swords, we have the Devil card. I'm not there yet, but we have to deal with these things that haunt us, torture us, torment us, things that are difficult to shake, addictive issues, possibly even contracts. Just you're really, unfortunately, dealing with some kind of bugaboo, some kind of thing that's like a repeated issue. That's just, you either can't shake it and you need to like kind of make friends with it and figure out just how to kind of cope with it. Or, you know, if you can shake it, you know, it's a little bit, the whole thing so far is looking at like a little bit like Alcoholics Anonymous or something like that, where kind of it's a day-by-day thing, where can you shake these thoughts, these fears, these anxieties? I think there's a certain amount of making friends with just these like unpleasant emotions. They're just here. They're part of who we are. Sometimes they're here to guide us. Sometimes they're really helpful. We shouldn't be ignoring them. They can help you dodge some bullets. They can help you see red flags, and sometimes we do need to sort of like tamp them down or find another way to deal with the issue or something like that. So, but it seems like this is like something that dogs you repeatedly, and it's a day-by-day thing. So if you're in any kind of like healing journey where you're trying to change a behavior or change something, just the devil is just something that's really difficult to change. It's pretty immovable. But just taking it day by day and really being on your self-care, it looks like. Meditations, I have a playlist on my channel that you can find of meditations. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to meditate. Silence is great, but I don't really have a video for that. And then there's apps and all sorts of things. So just staying on sort of your daily self-care, mental self-care in particular, is going to be super important. If this means maybe blocking out some of the news goes on whether we're paying attention to it or not. If this is speaking of which, there's the Hierophant here, which is again a card of like something possessing knowledge, whether we're tapping into it or not. That knowledge is there. So, and ancient knowledge. So, there's just with the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and the Devil card, and it's like maybe you have been successfully dealing with this and coping with this, but for some reason it's entirely possible that some sort of repeated issue raises its head. Now, I don't necessarily think that this reading should be for everyone, but there are some people that need to hear this message. So you may not need to hear this message. This may be just fine. You may have a smooth sailing week with mental health and all of that. I mean, we are also in eclipse season. There's a lot going on in the skies. And on the planet, which is in the skies. So there's a lot going on with all of the planets, including ours right now. So I think just what I'm seeing here so far is just taking care of your mental health, and having to do battle with something that you've had to do battle with before, especially mentally. Yeah, okay, let's move on. We have the Hierophant here. So this can be thinking about church. This can be thinking about a Taurus. This can be thinking about a religious leader, your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape. Maybe you want some answers from outside yourself, from outside your situation, he's on a Ouija board. So maybe you like some answers from some other dimension, some other world. Maybe that's what's going on here is you'd like... you're looking to your spiritual practice. You're looking perhaps to mediums. You're looking to some sort of maybe spiritual practice, like already established spiritual practice, or even like some kind of, like I would qualify, I would say that like AA or similar type things, maybe with, more in line with your own personal spiritual beliefs, would qualify as a Hierophant. So you may be thinking of reaching out for help outside yourself, because this Nine of Swords and this Eight of Swords have you very much in your head. So if you're thinking of, reading some spiritual books, joining some sort of spiritual group that you align with or something like that, that's definitely something that's on your mind, is seeking external help, spiritual help, well-established organizations. You might be, well-established paths and organizations, and wanting to receive messages. You want to receive some messages from reliable sources. Yeah, yeah, seeking messages is where I'd say like your heart and mind are at. Because there's a lot going on internally. And so I think you're maybe looking for some sort of external assistance. Then we have, what's at issue is 6 of Pentacles reversed. This one always confuses me, because it doesn't look anything like the 6 of Pentacles. It always looks like the 7 of Pentacles to me. And then the 6 of Pentacles. It's like waiting your turn. 6 of Pentacles is typically like generosity, but you have to wait your turn. Like karma feels delayed. Your turn feels delayed. There's like, honestly, there's just impatience here. I'm just going to read it the way I feel it. It feels like the 7 of Pentacles, but there's just impatience. Someone's very impatient. Someone's been waiting their turn. The check is not actually in the mail. You haven't received it. There's generosity that's been unreceived. There's something that's not been received at this point. It could be a gift. Maybe you're not giving a gift, but there's a sense of time running out on something. And this could be what's causing anxiety, is like something's running out, time or money or patience is running out. It obviously has to do with time. Okay, well, I don't know when that turned off, but there's something sort of outside of you. There's judgment here. There's evaluation. So somebody else is reevaluating something, or they finally have all of the information, and maybe you've been waiting for a long time for something, but externally somebody's now finally has the information. If they didn't have all the information they needed before, they do have it now, and they are looking into something, they are assessing something. So they're grading something. All the information is in, and evaluations are being made right now. This is not, you may not even be privy to this. You may not be aware that this is what's happening. On your end, I think you're just having, like, there's a delay, and there might be, because of the delay, you might be starting to get worried about something and frustrated with something, and feeling like you can't move forward with something. But this is external to you. There is evaluation going on. So then we have your to-do list is the Devil card. So sort of this sort of delay, or the reevaluation that's causing the delay is really wreaking havoc on your mental health. I see, like, I don't know why that's making me laugh, but it's not, because I think we've already covered how much mental health is here. So whatever this evaluation is, and perhaps like you're going in, before the school board or before the city council, and they're making decisions, and they're figuring out what to do with the information now that all the information is in. So that's what I'm getting, is like all the information is in, and now decisions can be made where they couldn't be made in the past. Now they can be made, and they can evaluate things a little better. So, but in the meantime, you've kind of been through the ringer here. But decisions are being made way outside your control here. And then we have the Devil card here of like dealing with your mental processes and how you deal with information. The Devil can also deal with contracts, things that are easy to get into but difficult to get out of. And so this might be encouragement for some of you to sign a contract, to look at a contract, make sure you read all the details, make sure you're paying very close attention to the contract. But it could be a little nudge of encouragement for signing a contract or looking at a contract, something like that. Some kind of agreement. The Devil card it can be habits, but it can also be agreements and just things that kind of keep us in place. And sometimes we want to be kept in place. It can be like a seatbelt where we're like, all right, I'm going to be kept in place here. And I agree to this and I appreciate it and I like it. But it can also be like the same seatbelt can become like a trap and like this card can often be depicted as like bondage and being tied up and bound to something. So, pick your bondage, I guess. Like, in what way do you want to be bound here? I mean, bondage is what the devil card is. And he's a puppet master, and these guys are playing their music. Sometimes I think, the life of the musician is really interesting and really cool and seems really fun, yet at the same time, every concert they have to play the same songs over and over and over again for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. The same song over and over again. So yeah, how cool was that agreement that they're going to do that, but also that's got to get tiring after a while. So the seatbelt and the seatbelt versus the bondage is what I think I'm seeing here with this devil is like, the contracts can provide safety and protection, but they can also provide like a straitjacket feeling. And then we have Page of Cups. So someone new coming in. We've had Page of Cups at the beginning for the reading for several weeks. And now we have Page of Cups coming in here, surprised, learning something new, emotions. This Page of Cups is like, I'd say falling in love or very much loves what they see. They love it. They were surprised. They weren't expecting this, but they love what they're seeing. They love what they're looking at here. Very happy with it. Something new, surprised by something new, delighted by something new, testing out, taking something for a test drive, and liking what you see. Loving it. Like, look, her eyes are just like these little cartoon hearts, and she's like, oh wow, this liquid is very cool. I like what's in this cup. This is my kind of thing. Look, it's a skeleton just like her. It's a skull. She's almost looking in a mirror here of like, ooh, I like what I see. I like what I see. Loving herself too, like that. Maybe being surprised by yourself and really loving and appreciating what you see in yourself. So there's a person, could be younger than you, could be just somebody new in your life, just really happy and appreciative and delighted by something. So that's a great way to end it. Someone new, delighted, delightful. Nope, that's too many. We can't take that many. All right, we're going to close it off. A couple of these, like, I forget what this deck is called, but some advice from the animals. Nope, that's again like 10 right there. Just gonna have to draw one because I'm almost out of storage. Koala's spirit. Spirit has a plan. So trusting that there is an overall plan, there's an overview here. So you may not see where all of this is going, but there is a plan. And that's reminding me of the judgment, some sort of evaluation going on very externally to you. So spirit has a plan. I think there's a sense of needing to trust that, and needing to trust that you will be delighted with, somebody will be very happy with what they see and what they find here. At the end of the day, there's going to be some very pleasant surprise. I'm not sure it's a thing. It could be a person. It could be just an emotion. So spirit has a plan. So that is why we are answering the spirit's call when it comes, because there's an overall plan here, even though we're not seeing it. So, all right. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining me here for this reading. I very much appreciate it. And we'll talk again later. Bye.